things are looking pretty good. I have all these blocks redunked. They actually sat with water in them for a total of 48 hours. That's really what it took to get the grain rehydrated once the mycelium's got a hard hold on it and the block's gotten pretty tough. But some of these I even rehydrated with pins on it. You know, these pins have been underwater for 2 days and they seem to be doing fine. I drained everything out. I decided that poking holes on the bottom of the bags or on the side of the bags is just a bad idea. It's better just to hold the bag upside down and work it back and forth with your hands for about 30 seconds or so, just to get all this liquid out. And even though you can see there's still some liquid that gets trapped in the bottom, so far it hasn't caused a problem. It's a bit like having your PF Techs or other like grain techs sitting in a saucer of water. You can see this guy where there was a cut in the plastic right here, it popped off the side. It's a nice looking mushroom there. Gives me more idea to try to close the bags up over the coconut coir layer and poke holes or slits around it and see how that does. And then my bags that I initially dunked before the first flush, you see every little mushroom in there looks like it's doing really well. Looks like it's going to fully develop, hopefully. These ones back here doing about the same. Maybe a little bit fewer maturing mushrooms, but probably get bigger too. And I've been misting everything twice a day, morning and evening. And I kind of agree from other videos that I've watched that these king oysters really like to stay wet. Where I've thought before in the past about wanting to have a dry cycle with your mushrooms, that really doesn't apply to king oysters. And really maybe oysters in general. You could just keep them wet. I've seen videos of farms where they just keep it in a really heavy fog, you know, so thick that you can barely even see the mushrooms. And they really suck up the moisture from the air. But I think a lot of that necessity might just be that sawdust can't supply the amount of water required to really give a hard flush. So I'm hoping every single little mushroom in here is going to develop into, you know, a nice full-size shroom looking like this. You know, also too, I should mention, notice how when you're growing off the side, how much more of a buttress the stump has to make to support itself. That's another reason why growing mushrooms vertically is a good idea, because it produces less stump. But you can see all these bags getting ready to come out. All doing well. If I see a whole lot of water on top, I'll go ahead and just tip the bag. But a little bit on the sides, I still think isn't a problem. It does seem that the mushrooms will try to crest. Like, see how it's kind of mounded up the coconut coir? That was actually all flat when I made it. So they kind of like, they seem to purposely crest above any kind of sitting water level. And that way, the mushrooms that are developing aren't getting soggy on the bottom. And also you can tell that these bags still have some grain that hasn't fully recovered, but it's almost there. I'm thinking I probably won't have to redunk these bags because they're so heavy. They weigh a total of 13.5 pounds with a casing on it, which is about 5 or 6 pounds more than a sawdust block would. So hopefully that'll translate into a lot more flushes without having to redunk it. It is a couple days later, and these 3 first bags of king oysters You can see are developing well. Been wetting them, you know, twice a day. And notice too, that how they're shaped is kind of a bit of a cup. And so you'll get some standing water in the center of the mushroom like that, but that's all right. You'll notice that any water that's caught on top of the cap will get drank up rather quickly, and the mushroom will put it to good use. And that's actually why their caps are shaped like that, is to catch the rainwater. I noticed that, let me spin this around. The pins that come off of these have like a kind of a lumpy cap shape at first. You can see this one's all lumpy looking, and then it kind of forms out. Hopefully that's not something weird going on, but we'll see. I do have a little bit of standing water on the side of this one. You can see on the, I need to take the bag and drain it off. I decided that these bags really are just too heavy for these bakery shelves. Putting 4 to a pan, which it'll fit, but yeah, it starts getting heavy to move the shelf around. I can see the pan sagging a bit because they are about 13.5 pounds a piece. And so what I've done is pretty much on these first flushers, I'll keep them on a shelf like these with the first set, you can see. And notice that they're doing well. Got mushrooms starting in them all. And then once they give a first flush and the size is reduced a little bit, I could then get 5 bags for one of these shelves. Still too heavy enough where there's really no way of sliding the shelf out to put it onto my work cart. It just kind of has too much friction and it's a bit heavy and difficult to get in and out. So it's still taking bag out to work on it. So nice that you can move around, so that, you know, another con to this method. And really hard to beat just having shelves, you know, I can get 24 bags like that just fine. So in a few days we'll check out how those first 3 bags turned out. Hopefully all these bags will do the same.